Whenever I'm flying, one of the things that I look forward to in my flights are layovers. You see, not a lot of people like layovers, but for me personally, I love layovers. So today I'm going to break down the reasons why I love having layovers. So for most people that I know, they don't like layovers. They prefer a non-stop flight. Running, training, tennis, weightlifting. Just enjoying the breeze, the cool breeze, and the fresh air here in Bukidnon. This place is surrounded by forest and a mountain. And if you look at the surrounding trees, these all contribute to the cool breeze here in this community. One of the things I like about layovers is the fact that after flying for quite some time, you can refuel. You can order food. I usually order food or some beverage, hot chocolate, coffee, tea, or fruit juice, and just relax. I make it a point to eat. Whenever there's a layover, so it's a chance to experience the comfort of the airport and at the same time replenish your body after just sitting for long hours and just being so famished, especially as airline food. The serving is not that much and the quality is not the best usually. So whenever there's a layover, I always look forward to it and devour the food at the airport, replenish the lost fluids and energy from flying, especially long haul flights. You can even listen to the chirping of the birds, because this is surrounded by forest. Look at that mountain with lush jungle forest. It's called Mount Musuan or Musuan Peak. When booking flights, usually non-stop flights are more expensive, and the cheaper ones, they have layovers or stopovers. And for most people, especially people that I know, they prefer to have the non-stop flight. But for me, whenever there's an option for a layover, if time is in my hands, I always choose the ones with layover. It's a chance for me to experience the place, especially if I haven't been to that city yet or that country. And like what I've said, I love airports. I love to just be at the airport and look through the glass window and just the feeling of being in another city. So for me, layovers are a bonus, not just your destination, but on top of your destination, you can experience as well another city, another country. I remember when I was going to Japan from Beijing, going to Tokyo, I had a layover in Seoul, South Korea. I was taking Korean Air, and this was in 2015. By the way, this was the year as well when there was an issue about the owner of Korean Air regarding the macadamia nuts incident on the plane, if you remember that one. So upon flying to Japan, to Tokyo, one of the things that made me excited was my layover in South Korea. And during the time, I haven't been to South Korea yet, so I was so excited. And when we landed at Incheon International Airport, I took the opportunity to eat at a restaurant and roam around, look at some of the products of the airport, Korean products, and just trying to maximizing my time experiencing the place, even if I'm just at the airport. So I ate Korean food. I spent time looking through the window, looking outside, and look at the products at the stores, Korean products. So even if I wasn't able to go out of the airport during that time, going to Tokyo, the excitement in me was there, and the fulfillment of having to step on another country. And upon coming back to Beijing, my layover was, I had an 8-hour layover, and fortunately, if you have a Japan visa as a Filipino citizen, Philippine passport holder, you are allowed to go out of the airport. So I had a Japan visa. Then I was able to go out of the airport on my way back to Beijing. So I was able to have a glimpse of Seoul. I was able to eat some authentic Korean food. I was able to roam around the city, although the time is too short to go to major tourist spots, but at least I was able to step on the city. And for me, I've been wanting to go to as many countries as possible. So these layovers are one of the opportunities where you can actually step on another country, even though technically you're not outside of the airport, but at least you're able to step. I mean, technically you are, although in reality you're not outside of the airport, but technically you're stepping in another country. That's why I like layovers. Okay, let's stop for a while and just behold the sunset. Look at that yellow glow. The sunsets here are always having different colors all the time. It's not like just one color every single day. Sometimes it's pink, sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's so orange, but now it's yellow. The screen is not showing yet yellow, but here looking at it with my bare eyes, is colored yellow. One of the things that the benefits of living in the Philippines is the wonderful sunset. Airports make me happy as well. I think the reason for that is because of my love for travel. Just people watching the world go by, sitting, reading a book, and sometimes even befriending fellow passengers at the airport. That's why the airport is my happy place. Although I've noticed that when I started to travel more and more frequently, sometimes it's kind of stressful with all the people and all the events going on, the chaos, the lines, and all the things that you need to accomplish, you need to be aware of. For example, the presence of potential danger. But still, in general, I still love being at airports because it signals that an adventure is waiting. And not only that, it's part of the experience, the journey itself, not just the destination, but the journey itself is part of the travel experience, and airports are one of them. Imagine just being at a coffee shop, ordering a sandwich. Especially in Europe, they have really good sandwiches there, and a really good cup of coffee, and just relaxing, looking at a wonderful view outside, and just the fact that you're in a different country, different city, relaxing with other people. So some of my memorable layovers, I remember, because during layovers I want to maximize my time being there. So when traveling, you wanna experience the country, and one way of there are many ways of experiencing the country, and one of those is through their food. You know, you're in their country, so what do they offer that you don't have back home, or you cannot find it in other countries, or what do they have better than other countries? So if you're in a particular country, you need to experience their food and maximize the opportunity of being there. For example, if you're in Belgium, Belgium is known for their waffle, their chocolate. So you have to experience these things. So I remember when I was in Belgium, I had a layover. I was traveling from Bilbao, Spain, going back to Beijing. So I had a layover in Brussels, in Belgium. So while waiting, what I did was I sat at a restaurant and ordered, and went to a Belgian restaurant, an authentic local restaurant, and tried to maximize the experience of being in that country, even though it's just at the airport. So I ordered traditional Belgian dishes and snacks and beverage, and even though I wasn't able to go out of the airport, I was able to at least experience some authentic Belgian experiences through their food, and I maximized it by just looking outside through the glass wall of the airport. That's why if I have to choose between a non-stop flight or having a layover, if time is in my hands, I would always choose to have a layover. For my favorite layover experiences, number one was when I was in Seoul, South Korea. This was my second time at this airport. I was going home, going to the Philippines. I haven't been to Seoul, so this was my second time to be at this very beautiful airport, Incheon International Airport. And they have free showers. You know, at this airport at Incheon, they have free showers. So what I did was, on my way to Manila for a family vacation, I maximized my time, my experience at the airport by, first of all, it was a red-eye flight, so I slept at there's a sleeping quarter for free at the airport, and then I took a shower. You know, at each airport they have free showers for passengers, and the bathroom is really clean with all the amenities. So that's one of my favorite airport experiences, and it happened during a layover. The best layover is being at an airport or a city where you haven't been to before. So you're able to experience more countries by just flying to your destination. That is the perfect layover for me. So whenever I book flights and I want a flight with a layover, I look at the layovers of a particular flight and choose a flight with a layover that I haven't been to. That's one of my criteria in choosing layovers. It's one way of maximizing your travel. So when I was going to Spain from Beijing, one of the reasons I chose this flight from Ukrainian Airlines, what was the name of the airlines? It's the flag carrier of Ukraine. I forgot the exact name of the airlines. It's Ukraine. The number one reason is it's cheap. It's the cheapest flight to Europe during the time, and I think it's generally the cheapest flight. But the layover, there's a layover in the capital of Ukraine, which is, I think, is Kiev, if I'm not mistaken, Kiev, Ukraine. And that was one of the reasons. I haven't been to Ukraine before, so that was one of the reasons why I chose that flight. So unfortunately, our layover in Kiev was very short. That's the thing about layovers. I like layovers that are long. You know, you have a time to relax, you have a time to have some coffee, to read a book, to go around, to shop, for those who love shopping. But sometimes layovers are very short, 30 minutes to an hour. That is very short. And instead of having a relaxing experience, you end up rushing, running, and not being able to really experience the city or the airport. So these are the kinds of layovers that I don't like. Even though in general I like layovers, but for short layovers, 30 minutes to 1 hour, especially 30 minutes, imagine. I experienced this. I was going to where was I going? I was going to Bangkok. Via Cathay Pacific or Dragon Air, any of those two sister companies, and we had a layover in Hong Kong. So I was so happy. Hong Kong from Beijing, and I was even thinking maybe I could go out of the airport because we don't need a visa to Hong Kong, and go to Disneyland a bit, maybe an hour, and just take pictures with Mickey, something like that. But I didn't realize that our layover there is just, if I'm not mistaken, it's just an hour. An hour. And usually sometimes delays happen. So what happened was I only got 30 minutes for my transfer to another plane when I was at Hong Kong airport. So what happened was I was so stressed. I was running, like literally running. Hong Kong airport is huge, and the next flight, the connecting flight was at a far away gate, at a far gate. So literally I was running, like not just walking fast, but literal running, and I was so stressed. I thought I'm gonna miss the flight. So in general, layovers are good, but for short layovers, they're very stressful. So I don't like short layovers. If I have to choose between a non-stop flight and a short layover, I would definitely choose a non-stop flight. So that's the thing with layovers. They're good. I really like them, except for short layovers. Alright, today I'm on my way to my parents' house. We're gonna go visit and play some tennis matches. So it's a beautiful day. Join me. Let's do this. Feeling of being in a new city, in a different city, and having a relaxation at the airport is a wonderful activity for me. You can see through the glass walls of the airport. Look at the outside of the airport. Look at the city, and just have some relaxing beverage, preferably a local beverage of that country or that city. And also, as much as possible, order a local food of that city. For example, if you're in Belgium, order some waffles and whatever beverage is known of Belgium. Remember when I was in Brussels, that was what I did. So layovers are really a wonderful experience for me. For me, it's part of the travel experience. It's part of the journey. So I'm a huge fan of savoring the journey, not just the destination in my travels, which means airports are part of it, hotels, these little things, that most people take for granted. For me, it's part of the overall experience, not just the destination. So we're gonna be going out. This is now the highway. Thank you. Morning. We're now at the highway. I'm gonna film later. Actually, it's a very relaxing experience to just walk at the airport, and just being at the airport is a wonderful thing. And in terms of layovers, the airports that are my favorite are in Seoul, South Korea, in Incheon, the Incheon International Airport, and Singapore Airport. For layover activities, eating, drinking, just relaxing, looking at the scenes outside of the airport and also at the airport. People just watch the world go by, and shower. You know, some airports, they have free shower, like Incheon, or if you're in Japan, they have shower rooms where you have to pay, but it's really worth it. The bathrooms are really clean and really nice. So for me, layovers are a way to de-stress from hours and hours on the plane, and to be able to experience the city, kind of like a pit stop during an F1 race or during a road trip. It's like pulling over at a gas station, at the convenience store at a gas station, and just have some refreshments and relax, recharge before continuing on to your journey. So layovers, really love them. How about you? What are your thoughts regarding layovers?